Anthony, what do you think? Not bad, huh? 10 years younger than your father.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Remember last time we had Anthony Rodia on, it was just fabulous. But that was a different age. I mean, this is when a comedian who loves being in a live performance with a lot of people was doing videos, hilarious videos.
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony, you said you have over 700 videos out there because of COVID. Is this true?
Yeah, 700 videos of me having a conversation with myself. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
But now we're celebrating the fact he's back at it. And, of course, Caroline's on Broadway, arguably the biggest comedy venue in the world. You're going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, September 16th, 17th, 18th. Go to carolines.com and get your tickets, and we'll remind you of that and other shows coming up. How have you been, Anthony? Now that you're out on the road,
I've been good.
Talk about it.
I've been good. Yeah, I mean, right now I have a little break. I'm in a 5-day golf trip, annual golf trip called Shoot for Scoots, which my wife's not too happy about. She just called me in tears because it's my daughter's first day in first grade. And I said, listen, I have to go. I have, the Elvis show, and then I have a tea time. And she always hits me with the same thing. And she goes, it must be nice to be you. It's not. And I'm like, listen, babe, it's not bad being you either. I mean, granted, you're a dental hygienist. You took off 6 months from work to raise our daughter when she was born 6 years ago. I said, you haven't been back since, so it's not that bad being you.
I know, but it's your little girl's first day at school, and you're golfing and on a stupid radio show. Hello.
Wow, Elvis. Thank you for being on Team Wife.
Don't listen, Anthony. Golf is important. Golf is very important.
No.
It is. It's good for our mental state.
Team Wife all the way.
Elvis, you just cost me probably 3 Amazon packages, so I thank you. Thank you for that.
So if you're listening to us for the first time, or you're hearing Anthony for the first time on our show, keep in mind, here in the New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut area, a lot of Italian Americans. And Anthony, almost everything he does is a salute to the Italian Americans of America, and which is redundant. And we have a new station on in Austin, Texas today, and we're on in cities that don't have the same flavor that we have when it comes to.
We were just there. We just got back there.
So. Look, we understand Italian American, the way you're raised and your parents and your Uncle Vinny and this and that. A lot of people across the country, this is kind of new to them. Do they get it? Do they understand it?
Yeah, we just actually got back from Austin. We did 2 shows in Austin, Texas. It was a little different. When I went on stage, we had our crowd there, so it was a little easier. But we had some, Austin natives, and I said on stage, Austin's amazing. I've never seen so many pairs of Daisy Dukes on men. And I told the women, I said, you better step it up. I said, these men, they have some high, gorgeous asses. And I got caught staring at a couple of them. And one guy actually turned around and he's like, you see something you like? And I said, yeah, dude, high five. You got a phenomenal ass. I mean, that is just phenomenal. But Austin was great. I mean, but yeah, I go to these different cities and you don't realize how big the Italian population is. But my comedy has spread so far, so far out to where people that aren't Italian, they were raised old school or first generation, whether, be Greek, Portuguese, or what have you. And they see that it relates to them. So it's becoming universal, which is nice.
When I first moved to New York from Texas, it was a culture shock in a way, learning about all the Italian foods I've been mispronouncing all these years. Like prosciutto is prosciutto,
right. No, you said it right the first time.
Ricotta. Oh, no, they say rigot. I'm like, what language?
Yeah, rigot.
And then there's another thing that's scary. Anthony Scary.
That's me.
Says that is such a cultural thing, and I'll let you guys duke this out. He still calls his mom and dad mommy and daddy, and he's in his 40s, and he says, no. He says it's an Italian-American cultural thing.
So,
Have you heard? He still calls him daddy.
Anthony, I do it when I say, if I'm talking about the person. I don't call it to their face. So I'll say, hey, Ma, what time is daddy coming home? So it's always talking about them, not to them, about them. Yeah.
It's so I don't know.
I'm not worried
about homoerotic sounding to me. Daddy.
I'm not so concerned about the daddy thing, but you call so if you're talking to your dad, you refer to your mom as mommy?
Yeah, oh my God. So you think mommy's gonna like this Christmas gift?
Are you also being breastfed? Still?
Yeah.
Just curious.
I thought for sure you would agree with me on that point because a lot of people do that in other cultures as well.
She's just the older you get, the more letters mommy loses off her name. So she becomes mom, then mom, and then now she's ma. And soon, I mean, when she loses her hearing, she's gonna be like, hey! I mean, that's gonna be her name. So no, I don't call her mommy anymore. Scary, you're on this by yourself.
Okay, sorry, you're on an island by yourself. I love this text. Oh my God, I saw Anthony at the Funny Bone in Albany last month. I haven't laughed till I cried since prior to that stupid pandemic. He's amazing, so good for my soul after being on the front line during the pandemic. See, you know what? We need you, Anthony. The dogs, go away. Someone's here. We need you. We need to be able to get out to Caroline's and see you perform because it's very important. So Uncle Vinny. Now, if you haven't checked out Anthony's Uncle Vinny, how was Uncle Vinny born? And how did he get his head to look like that?
So it was by I was in a weight loss bet with my cousin Frankie. We had a weight loss bet, and Italians, old school family. I mean, we break each other's chops, and we were going back and forth, tit for tat. And I came across this filter on Snapchat, which just looked funny with the big eyes, and I did an Italian accent, and I posted it. And I mean, I had like 200 followers on my personal account, and people started like losing it. And my sister, said, hey, why don't you come up with a page for this? Call it something. So I kind of, I called it Uncle Vinny, and then he had a wife, and Uncle Vinny kind of is based after my dad, and Zia Lucia is based after like 9 of my aunts all put together. Right. And it just became, it became crazy. And now, I mean, 3 years later, I have a wine coming out, and they're the face of the bottles, and we're working on a cartoon for them. I mean, they're becoming more popular than I am, and I'm a little jealous of my inner voices.
Are you wearing jewelry or something? What do you have? Are you wearing bracelets?
No, headphones. No, I'm a watch guy. No jewelry.
I hear jewelry.
Yeah, something. When you talk with your hands, something's making noise.
I hear jewelry, which is okay.
Oh, it might be my watch. It might be my watch.
You very good. Those Italians, they have loud jewelry. Anyway, so Vinny now has a following of is there a number?
I think altogether between Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, I think I'm probably 1.1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for you.
That's awesome.
We'll tell you how to check out Anthony and Uncle Vinny in just a few minutes. So before you leave, remind me to do that. So here it is during lockdown. A comedian loves to stand on that stage. I don't know how the hell you guys do it because it's the most frightening thing in the world. For me, anyway. But you're funny, so it's a different thing. So you're video. You're producing video, just talking to yourself. But people really caught on to it. But now that you're out doing the Carolines, and later on in the year you're going to be in Vegas and everywhere. I mean, what's it feeling like to finally get back out there and standing in front of some fans and being heckled?
The video. I have unbelievable comedy fans. I mean, you could literally hear a pin drop when Goomba Johnny and I are on stage talking. It's the greatest respect when you sit on stage and your fans are actually listening. But it's amazing. See, the videos are nice because I get to goof around at home and bring up situations that people were brought up with. But the live shows, that's when I get to see people out and they get to tell me how relatable my humor is. Not only that, but my characters turned into a challenge for me. There's a lot of times when somebody creates a character, you have to make sure that character, you don't get overshadowed by the character. So I have to be even funnier on stage than I have to be online. And so far, I mean, it's totally different. It's none of what you see online, because I feel like if you're going to pay to see me, it should be something different. But I tell people the best kind of laughter is the kind that hurts. And I like the messages you just got. I love when somebody tells me, hey, the next day I woke up and my stomach was killing me. Right, but it's that interaction. It's that feedback from the crowd. There's nothing better than hearing a room full of laughter and knowing that you're responsible for it.
I love this text. I love Anthony Rodia. I went to see him live. I'm afraid to see him again because I will pee myself. Oh,
yeah.
So one thing is pain, and another thing is actually urinating yourself.
Right.
I feel like I should wear Depends as for extra protection, says Samantha. Yeah. So look, you know what? I love what you do with your stand-up and everything you do, Anthony, because it has to do with your family. A lot of it has to do with family. Growing up Italian American. And Gandhi, she grew up in an Indian household. Yes. And so hearing the stories you guys have about not only your parents, but all these freaky people, your aunts and uncles that just are from another planet. Is there anyone in your family that's like, hey, Anthony, just stop it. Stop doing this about us. Or do they love it?
No, for the most part, they love it. But I'll go to like an uncle's house and.
Uh-oh. We
lost your audio.
Can you hear? Oh,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now you're right. Okay, so you go to an uncle's house. Okay, pick it up.
So I'll go to like my uncle's house, and they know now, obviously, I put videos online and I talk about it on stage. So I'll say, hey, what's going on, Zio? And he's like, hey. I'm like, okay. I'm like, hey, what's up, Zia? Hello. And I'm going, you guys all right? And then my uncle will tell, and I'll hear him. No, say nothing to him because whatever you say, he use on the stage.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't talking to me?
But my family does the same thing. They'll go, that is not for the air tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
How dare you?
But
even worse, I'll bring my dad to shows. And after the show, now listen, a lot of the stories I talk about on stage, there's truth behind it. Some of them are embellished a little bit.
Right.
So I caught him in Chicago talking to somebody. And I walk over and he goes, yeah, this story about me upstate, they're like 70% it was not true. I'm like, are you fact checking me at my own show? they don't understand that it's okay to embellish. He goes, Anthony, I cannot let these people think that everything you say about me was true because they're going to think I belong in a hospital. I'm like, you do. A lot of you do.
I know. You know what?
It's crazy.
As a comedian, I know you want to give new material as much as you can, but people in the audience love to scream out the stuff they love, and they want you to do it again and again and again. Does that bother you? Do you mind like rehashing and going back and playing the favorites?
See, I'm so addicted to writing, Elvis. I mean, you'll see a show on Friday. You might hear 30 minutes of different material on Saturday. And that's just simply because I spent some time with my wife and kids and spoke to my dad for 10 minutes.
Right.
So I'll tend to use a lot of new material. And Goomba Johnny, who I tour with, he says to me, he goes, don't think that these people don't want to hear some of the stuff they heard last time. So I'll get yelled at after the show. Hey, I brought my friend and I told her about the story about you picking up your dad at the airport and you didn't use it. Like I have a problem where I might have too much material and it's a good problem to have. But I'll get that sometimes where people will get mad that I didn't use some of the classic stories.
Like what are some of them? I'm sorry, Danielle, go ahead.
No, I want to know if they scream it out in the audience, like if they want you to do a certain bit,
yeah.
they scream it out.
Like what are they screaming out the most?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. I mean, like, for instance, I have a story about my dad. My parents are divorced. They've been divorced for like 20 years. And I guess his accent got worse. My mom lost hers. They couldn't communicate. I went to go pick my dad up at JFK, and he brought a woman back with him from Italy, like a souvenir. I'm like, you couldn't just get a snow globe? So he's across, like, if you've ever been to JFK, there's a long runway, and you see them coming out of the corridor. First of all, he's got 9 suitcases for 3 weeks. And he's got this woman that looks like she's been kidnapped. She's never been in the States. And he's screaming. He goes, Anthony, what do you think? Not bad, huh? 10 years younger than your father. And I'm like, Dad, stop. He goes, don't worry about it. She don't understand no English. I'm like, but everybody else does. And then he comes to me, and I'm looking at his suitcase. I go, Dad, is your suitcase leaking olive oil? And he goes, shut up, and they're going to know. I'm like, you don't think they know that you have rope and a padlock on a Samsonite? So he starts listing. I said, if you don't tell me the stuff you have in your suitcase right now, you're not getting in my truck. You had to hear the stuff he had in his luggage. He goes, okay. I got a couple things of cheese. I got a supersad. I got a cup of gold. I got a hatchet that my great-grandfather gave me. And I got 2 fig trees. I go, you have trees in your luggage? I said, how? And then he looks at me like I'm the idiot. He goes, first of all, you don't have the whole tree. If you want to take a tree, you crack up a branch. You put the branch into a potato because the potato got a water inside. Then you wrap it in tinfoil, you take it home and you plant. They don't teach you this in school? I'm at a Fig University. What is wrong with you?
You owe your father your career, I think.
Oh, 100%. And he says that. He says that now. Somebody spoke to him in the family. When I find out who it is, they're dead. He calls me up one day. He goes, hey, I was just a wonder. Now listen, I'm old school. First thing I did was take care of my parents. Got my mom a new truck, my dad a new truck. I like to take care of my family. It feels amazing that I'm able to do that. But he calls me and he goes, listen, I'm very happy with my new truck. I appreciate everything you do. But somebody told me that because you use a lot of my accent in your performance, you owe me some novelties. I go, really? I said, you sure you don't mean royalty? You mean royalties? You owe me some novelties.
Give him the novelties. Make him happy.
You knew what he was saying.
100%.
All right, look, Anthony Rodia is going to be at Caroline's, the world famous Caroline's, September 16th, 17th, 18th. It's just Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Go to carolines.com. Let's sell him out.
Yeah.
I want
that, guys.
standing room only in there. Now, how do we find all of your stuff online? Because I want everyone to check you out today.
Facebook is Anthony Rodia Comedy, and then everything else, TikTok, Instagram, Rodia, YouTube is Rodia Comedy.
All right, Rodia, if you're wondering.
Yeah. And listen, Elvis, I'm still waiting. You still got tickets, all you guys. Any show you want to come to, you have tickets on me.
Done.
We have iHeart this weekend. We won't be here the weekend you're here.
We got to go to Vegas.
Won't be in Vegas.
But we'll stay there till December when you show up at the Venetian.
That's right.
But Anthony Rodia, it's so great having you on here. So good talking to you. And by the way, this is all being Zoomed, and so we'll have it online so you can watch the great Anthony Rodia later on. Thank you for being on with us.
Thank you
today,
so
man.
much. Always a blast to be on with you guys. And listen, it's kind of a whirlwind, man, because I grew up listening to you guys. So this is awesome, and it's always a pleasure to be on with you guys.
I mean, back in the day when you called mom mommy.
That's
how
right.
Yeah, listen,
Back then.
I still tell you guys, I think it was when America's Got Talent first came out, I called up and imitated a grandmother and sang a song about you guys and won an iPad.
Oh, my
Did you
gosh.
really?
Yeah.
Shut
That's
up.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I
See?
named everybody on the show.
That's so cool.
See, all the superstars are born right here. Anthony, you're the best. Go have a great day, man. It's good talking to you.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
You too. Let's take a break. We're back right after this.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.